What's up guys, VillageCap Talks here with another video. This is kind of weird, and I have never really covered themes like this on this channel, but it still relates to gay dating and being gay, so it felt appropriate to share it on this channel, which is, of course, those of you who've been watching know I've consistently stuck to this theme of like gay content, but it seems like I'm right now dating 4 guys, and this has never happened. I don't even know that I've ever had a real dating situation. Like, by dating I mean a guy that you're seeing and that you've been on, let's say, I don't know, at least 5 dates with. I think the most I've ever been on was 4 or 5 dates with one guy years ago, and he ended up being a douchebag. I made a fuckboy of the month video about him, actually, for those of you who remember that theme that I did last year. Every month I had a fuckboy of the month. But it's just funny to me. I almost feel like, you know, it's like The Truman Show, that movie, The Truman Show. I almost feel like the joke's on me and like people are just gonna be like, surprise, like it's all a joke. But it just seems very odd to me that I went from having all these dating frustrations over the years to suddenly all these guys just came into my life at once. And if I had no context, I would be like, wow, what a strange coincidence. But I have been reading a lot about the law of attraction lately, and I've made 0 videos about this in the past. A, because I'm the biggest skeptic in the world, and I'm still really trying to learn this myself and trying to figure out how real this is. You know, people always say that things happen for you when you're not looking, and that you can't want things too badly or it'll just flow right by you. But to me, that has always been such a passive mentality, the whole thing of like, oh, just believe it'll happen, or, you know, don't think too much about it and then it'll happen. I've always been such a go-getter. I've always had to chase things, whether it was job opportunities, a better apartment, friends, like whatever. But it's interesting now when I look at what's happening right now with this dating situation and even just other things. Like, since I moved to LA, my life has just been easier. Friends have just come into my life pretty effortlessly, and that's never happened to me before. And so now I'm like, maybe this is all real, this whole thing of like, you want it, and then once you finally let go of that desire, things just come through. And again, that's such a foreign concept for me, but I have been reading about it, coincidentally, and I have been trying to apply it, and I'm in a state now, the past few months, where I've just been feeling good. Like, I just feel peaceful as a person. I'm okay with not having all the answers. I'm okay with not having everything that I see myself having in the long run. And the irony, the total weird, gnarly, ironic part of all this is that a few weeks ago, I remember consciously thinking, looking at my bed from my kitchen and thinking, it's pretty nice being by yourself. Like, I've gotten used to and gotten to enjoy being by myself. I come home to my own empty apartment, to my own bed, and I like it. And there was a time where I didn't like it. In New York, I constantly craved a connection with somebody, and I think certain things about New York make you crave that more. I think the winters are harsh, and I don't know, there's something about New York to me that is almost inherently melancholy. At least, maybe the whole year except summer. I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but I was just always feeling like I was lacking something, like there was a void. And I felt that way in the beginning of moving to LA, but then things just kind of fell into place. And then I also just started actively trying to implement this concept of like the law of attraction and think good things and feel complete as a person, and things will be okay. And I realized that it doesn't even matter what else happens at this point. I have really enjoyed reminding myself of this every day, like, things are okay. No matter what, as long as I can say it, that means things are okay, because that means I'm alive, that means that I'm well, that I have control over my own thoughts. That's a pretty cool thing to have when you think about it. When you really think about it, you should be grateful for just that simple ability, because a lot of people don't have that. And when you look at other creatures, they don't necessarily have the same agency that we have as human beings, and the same sort of willpower and self-awareness and self-consciousness. So it's just funny that a few weeks after coming to this realization of like, I kind of like this phase in my life where I'm on my own and just exploring, and also, by the way, learning a lot about myself and my emotions and such. Within a few weeks of me having this conscious thought, these men just came into my life. And the weird thing is, I wasn't pursuing them. I didn't make any efforts to find them. They came to me through different apps. One thing was, my friends were like, we want you to meet somebody, let's go on a double date. And I was like, oh, I don't know, but they convinced me, and I was like, all right, fine. And I went, and looking back, it's like, you can't predict those things, right? Like, you can't predict your friends introducing you to somebody. You can't predict somebody reaching out to you on an app. And I'm used to always making the effort with everything in my life, like with finding a better job, with making more money, with finding a better apartment, with making friends, and this and that this is so foreign to me, to have things just come to me. So could it just be a coincidence? Of course, anything can just be a coincidence, but you know, that saying, when it rains, it pours, is really applying right now in my life. And going from always having trouble dating and feeling frustrated by that, to suddenly not really caring about it, and 4 guys came into my life, not only progressively, it would be one thing if it was like once a month over the past few months I met a guy who I really liked and I kept talking to them, but this was like the same week, literally the same week, I had 4 dates planned with 4 different guys. That's weird. That's weird, it's unusual, and I can't help but feel that this is all true, this law of attraction stuff that people always talk about. I'm like, oh my god, I think this is real. I think I attracted all these men into my life. It's very strange, it's very gnarly, but I'm excited to see what happens next. And I guess my point of this video, for any of you, whether you are familiar with that concept of the law of attraction or not, what I'm learning is that it seems like it's not even about visualizing and obsessing over things. It's really more about the second phase of letting go and just being okay with what is. Because this is the first time in my life that I've really felt that way, and things just seem to be coming in left and right. Other things that I haven't focused on in this video, like, you know, other opportunities, not just with dating, by the way, but obviously this channel I've committed to making about gay content, so it really only matters for me to discuss the gay dating aspect of what's been happening lately. But I don't know, that's my takeaway, that it seems like when you let go and you just kind of let things happen and you don't force it or like clenching onto a vision of something, then that's when things flow through. And I've heard it so many times from so many friends, and I always was like, that's so silly, like that's like out of a fairy tale. It seems like such a gimmicky, or cliche rather, thing to say, that, you know, it only happens when you're not looking. But now I'm really experiencing it. Right now it's pretty cool to kind of like from the outside observe what's taking place in my life, and from the lens of this concept of attracting things and being able to attract things when you're in the right headspace. If any of you guys have anecdotes related to this concept, I would love to hear your feedback.